We all want the air in our homes to be clean, right? But it can get super confusing. You head to the store, you buy that expensive furnace filter, you swap it out, and you figure, job done. But is that what's really going on? Let's get to the bottom of this and figure out the real difference between that filter in your furnace and a dedicated air purifier.
So, let's just start with the biggest question of all. You spend good money on those thick, pleated, high-tech furnace filters, but are they actually doing the job you think they're doing? Cleaning the air for you and your family to breathe?
And honestly, the answer is a pretty hard no. If you take away just one thing from this, let it be this. The main job of that filter is to act as a bodyguard for your expensive HVAC equipment. That's your furnace, your air conditioner, the whole system. Any cleaner air you get to breathe, well, that's just a happy little accident, not its primary mission.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Picking the wrong filter, and by that I mean one that's actually too good for your system, can cause some serious damage. A filter that's too thick, too restrictive, can literally choke your system. It can't breathe. In the winter, your furnace could overheat. In the summer, your AC coil could turn into a giant block of ice. And trust me, both of those lead to some very expensive repair bills. So what we're really talking about here are two completely different tools with two totally different jobs. You've got the bodyguard for your equipment, and then you've got the sanitizer for the air in a specific room. They are absolutely not the same thing. And this image right here just illustrates it perfectly. On the left, you've got the air filter. It's basically a passive screen, kind of like a sieve for your air, just trapping the big stuff to keep your HVAC system from getting gunked up. But on the right, you've got the air purifier. That's an active machine. It's pulling air in, forcing it through multiple layers of technology to sanitize it specifically for you to breathe. Two different worlds.
Let's break it down even simpler. An air filter? It's a passive trap. Its main goal is to protect your equipment. And it gives you a sort of baseline level of filtration for the whole house. An air purifier? That's an active sanitizer. Its goal is to protect your health, and it does that in a very targeted room-by-room way. Okay, so now that we're clear on what they do, let's pop the hood and see how they actually do it. Because, understanding the tech is really the key to picking the right tool for your own home. For furnace filters, it is all about the MERV rating. You're going to see this on every package. It's the industry standard scale, and it basically just tells you how good the filter is at trapping particles. Higher MERV number, smaller particles it can catch. Simple as that. So what do these numbers actually mean in the real world? Well, a MERV 1 to 4, that's your cheap, flimsy fiberglass filter. It barely stops anything. Most pros will tell you that the real sweet spot for most homes is right in that MERV 8 to 11 range. That's going to give you a great balance of capturing dust and pollen without choking your system. Once you get up to MERV 13 and higher, you're really getting into hospital-grade filtration. But, and this is a huge but, here is the critical trade-off. A higher MERV rating is like a tighter net. Yeah, it catches more stuff, but it also makes it harder for air to get through. And if your HVAC system wasn't built for that kind of restriction, you're starving it for air. And that leads right back to all those big, expensive problems we talked about earlier. All right, let's switch gears to the air purifier and its core weapon, the HEPA filter. Now, this is not just a high MERV filter. It is in a completely different league. A true HEPA filter is the gold standard. It's engineered to capture an incredible 99.97% of particles down to 0.3 microns. We're talking about the really tiny, microscopic stuff here. Smoke, viruses, the works. But a great purifier doesn't stop there. Most of them also include an activated carbon filter, and this is for all the stuff you can smell. The carbon acts like a sponge. It just soaks up odors, gases, and those nasty chemical fumes. They're called VOCs. This is stuff a HEPA filter just can't touch. And some purifiers go one step further, adding a layer of UVC light. This is basically the germ warfare stage. As bacteria and viruses float past this light, their DNA gets totally scrambled, which means they can't reproduce and become harmless. It's an active kill step, not just a trap. Okay, that was a lot of tech. So with all that in mind, how in the world do you decide what you actually need? Well, it really just comes down to matching the right tool to your specific problem. Let's start with a super common scenario. You don't have any major health issues in the house, you just want to cut down on the everyday dust, and maybe the seasonal pollen that makes you sneeze.
For this kind of situation, upgrading your furnace filter to a good quality one in that MERV 8 to 11 sweet spot is absolutely the perfect first step. It gives you a solid, noticeable improvement across your entire home, and it does it without putting your HVAC system at risk. It's the best bang for your buck for sure. But what if the problem is more serious? What if someone in your family has really bad allergies or asthma? Or maybe you live somewhere with wildfire smoke, or you've got a pet and those stubborn odors just never seem to go away.
For these kinds of issues, a furnace filter just isn't going to cut it. Not even close. You absolutely need a dedicated HEPA air purifier. It is the only thing engineered to capture that 99.97% of microscopic triggers, the tiny smoke particles, the fine pet dander, the dust mites that cause those serious reactions. This is a health tool, not just a simple filter.
And that brings us to what is really the best strategy for almost every home. It's not an either-or situation. The smartest approach is to actually use both of these tools together, letting each one play to its unique strengths. Let's just do a quick recap with this table because it lays it all out. The air filter's main goal, protect the equipment. It's a passive, whole-home baseline against big particles. The air purifier's main goal, protect your health. It's an active, targeted cleaning machine for microscopic threats in a single room. So the hybrid strategy is actually really simple and incredibly powerful. You use a good, balanced MERV 8 to 11 filter in your furnace for that whole home equipment protection and baseline air cleaning. Then you place a dedicated HEPA air purifier in the rooms where air quality matters the most, like your bedroom, where you spend a third of your life. You get the best of both worlds. And really, that's the bottom line. It's all about using the right tool for the right job. Filters protect your systems, purifiers protect people. So the final question I'll leave you with this: now that you know the difference, is your home equipped to do both?